Amy of Solicitor, welcome to 69 Faces of Rock. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right. I'm a little road weary, but I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me how Solicitor got together?
How we got together? Well, some folks would be familiar with this. I think I was in a previous band called Substratum, based out of Seattle, and we ended up parting ways in October of 2018, and Matthew Vogan was playing bass at the time. He and I met up after we decided that Substratum was no more and went forward with the idea of starting a new band. Johan and Patrick and Damon were already in another band in Seattle as well called Hexengeist. Hexengeist also split up around the same time. Eventually all of us came together and talked about it. We had recorded a demo by January of 2019. So it came together pretty quickly. That was that.
When you got together, what did you initially want to sound like?
Leech Lord, Chastain, Merciful Fate was kind of what we were going for. Maybe a little Riot, maybe a little Metal Church, but definitely something a little grimier and speedier than the typical bands we're seeing right now within this resurgence, the new wave of true heavy metal resurgence that's going on right now. We want to be a little bit grimier than that.
How long did it take you before the true Solicitor sound emerged?
That's an interesting conversation that we're always having in this band. I feel like the first two demo songs that we released, Night Stalker and Speed Tyrant, were pretty emblematic of what we were going for. And now with the latest release, the 7-inch that we put out in February, with Killer for Hire and Megalomaniac, I feel like we've expounded on that theme. Just, again, faster, grimier, sometimes melodic, sometimes not, little bit of thrash and a little bit of black metal in there, kind of trying to cover all of our bases within that fast and nasty niche that we're setting out for ourselves.
Tell me about your first EP.
So the first EP came together fairly quickly. Again, we released 2 demo songs in January, February of 2019. The EP was then recorded with 2 additional songs, Vulture Command and Execution Squad, and released in May of 2019, along with our debut performance here in Chicago at Legions of Metal at the time. Those songs then got picked up by Gates of Hell Records, Cruz del Sur Music in Italy, and released on vinyl of October that year, after we had done a short tour on those songs.
How would you say it did?
I think it went over really well. I mean, we got our record deal through Gates because of that EP. We got several festival offers because of that EP, and we're always trying to harken back to the sound of that EP, right? Yeah. Because that's what we set out to do.
Now, Spectral Devastation followed 1 year later, right?
Yes.
Tell me about the writing and the recording process of that.
So the writing and recording process of that album, I think I can speak for everyone in saying that we rushed that process. And I say that because we were anticipating our debut performance in Europe in April 2020. Of course, we all know how that went, right? We actually released the album on the day that we were supposed to play in Germany, so April 24th of 2020, I believe. And if it had not been for that festival date, we might have taken longer in the studio. We might have taken longer with production time. We might have taken longer with art and packaging and all of that. But the fact that it came together as quickly as it did in the time slot that we had is quite honestly a feat of insanity. And for all purposes, it's gained us quite a following. So I can't knock it.
What feedback did it receive?
The majority of the critiques that we received had a lot to do with the production value of the album, and I couldn't agree more, quite honestly. Folks really enjoyed the songwriting itself. I think those songs hold up even now, several years later, a couple years later, and we're looking forward to just spending more time next time, and not polishing things up, but making sure that we don't rush that process again. That was the biggest critique that we got.
How did you even get together with Gates of Hell Records? I love the name. by the
They
way.
reached out to us.
Okay.
Yeah, they reached out to us the weekend that we performed at Legions in 2019. They sent us an email. They had originally reached out to Substratum, my previous band, which had only broken up several months before, and they wanted to bring us on for the next full length. Well, obviously that band wasn't around anymore. My former guitarist Max Nazarian, who also does all the artwork for Legions of Metal, singer of Beretta, he forwarded the email to me by chance, and I sent them our demo, and the rest is history.
Was there any touring done for this album?
For Spectral Devastation, that's this current tour right now that
So you're
on.
finally catching up to
We're
it.
finally catching up to it, making up for lost time, trying to reach as many people as we can and cover as much ground as possible.
Okay. What would you say your songs are about?
You know, a lot of it, it's hard reflecting back on the last 2 years, you know, because a lot of it, you know, themes of heavy metal, of power, of glory, some of war, some of heartbreak, so on and so forth. We don't have any plans at the moment to do any kind of concept album or continuing theme, but who knows with the next album. Again, we're going to take more time, so...
Recently you have a new EP out, right?
Yes,
Yeah, it's called All Debts on Death.
All Debts on Death.
And what can you tell me about the songs on it?
So those two songs, you know, of course, again, throughout the course of the pandemic, we wanted to stay active and stay relevant and make sure that we didn't lose traction or lose following. We had a couple of songs on the back burner that we weren't sure what to do with, and we decided, you know what, come hell or high water, we're going to release these songs, we're going to get these out, we're going to see if this is the direction we want to keep moving in as far as the next full length, right? So we're kind of testing the waters, and we went with a new studio, a new production engineer, and the response so far has been pretty good. Folks seem to really enjoy the EP, and we're hoping to continue working with those guys for the next full length.
How would you say your songwriting is changing ever since you started the band?
I think it's becoming much more collaborative, because previously Matthew was bringing most of the songs to the table, and Patrick has a very different style of writing and playing guitar. We're trying to merge those a little bit more this time around, and just be really conscious and aware of everything that everyone can bring to the table.
You've mentioned a few times about the upcoming album. How is that shaping up?
So far, we have a couple of songs. The rest is still in writing, and it's looking like we'll be hitting the studio in late 2023.
You're touring now. Any crazy stories from the tour so far?
Oh my God. This entire tour has been crazy. Between losing our van in El Paso, Soul Grinder also losing their van in Louisiana. We had to scoot them up, put all their gear in our trailer. I mean, we've had a couple of shows fall through. We've had to pull things back together. Every time something gets thrown at us, at this point it doesn't feel like anything anymore because we've already been through it all. So knock on wood. Hopefully nothing else goes wrong, you know, but this is by far the most challenging and difficult tour I've been on in the 15, 20 years I've been doing this. So, you know, word to the wicked, we're gonna keep rolling, juggernauting our way through, and just do the thing because we can't afford not to, quite literally.
Trying to end on a positive note, can you think of something positive that's happening right now?
I mean, we're here in Chicago, we made it on time, and hopefully we get to see a bunch of friends tonight, you know? Hopefully the rest of the shows that we have go really well. And everyone that's come out to the shows that we've played so far have been absolute fucking maniacs. They've been amazing, and we can't deny the support that we've been getting, you know? So a big thank you to everyone that's supported us this entire time, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Rock and roll.